Hello y'all, I have my 4 dogs outside with me and it might storm and we're just trying our best here, so so if you guys are new here, like I said, my name is Maddie. I'm 19 and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my piercing care routine. So before I start, I do have quite a few ear piercings. I have 4 on this ear, so I have my tragus. I'm not wearing any of my first earring home. 2, and then my cartilage, and then 4, and then I have my nose. I had my septum done. I took it out just because I didn't like it anymore. It's alright. And then my belly button pierced. Honestly, the septum thing could be a whole nother video. It wasn't a bad piercing. It was fine. So, I have my journal with notes. So to begin, I want to say that you should never, ever, 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 ever in the history of all things good and holy, anything pierced with a gun. There are several reasons for this, no matter what age you are. Also, I want to clarify, ever with a gun. So the first thing is that depending on what you get pierced, you can shatter cartilage. So if you get your cartilage pierced on your ear, it can shatter, and that's not good. I mean, it doesn't sound good. It's not good. As well as the fact that they cannot completely sterilize the guns, and issues like earrings can be damaged, and it's a really abrupt force to your ear, if that makes sense. Like the ones I got, if you guys want to know all about my piercings and what I got them done with, I'm not going to go through everyone. I have 2 piercing videos, so I'll leave them linked in the description. But I did get my cartilage done with a gun, and I was really lucky. But I have found that getting it done with a hollow needle hurts less, and the healing process is so much easier and a lot better. Getting things done with a hollow needle, you don't bleed as much. There's less of a risk of infection. Just so many benefits. It's also not just a punctured quick force and then yanking the gun away. It's like one motion. I put it in. There's videos all over Instagram, and I'm sure you can find on YouTube where they're done with a hollow needle. And the piercers I've gone to don't take forever with a needle. It's almost as fast as a gun, and it hurts a lot less, like I said. And there's not the scary sound of a gun. So where I'd recommend to go get pierced with a needle would be a tattoo shop. I would make sure that it's reputable and clean. You don't want to get anything done, tattoos or piercings, in a place that is dirty. So you should make sure that they wear gloves, that they prep the area, they clean it, they mark it, all that stuff. If it seems shady, I wouldn't get it done. There was a girl that got her nose pierced and kept getting keloids on it, and I asked her, where did you get it pierced? And she told me she went to this other place in town. And I was like, oh, I go here, why didn't you go there? And she was like, the other place is half the price. Normally you get what you pay for. I think in the other videos I talked about how much each piercing was, but for ear piercings, for most piercings you're looking at least $15, if not $30 to $50, if you want it done right. I had a friend as well, my roommate in college, had some part of her ear pierced, in here. And they had pierced it with the wrong gauge. The jewelry was way too long. It was the wrong gauge, like I said, and she was constantly having infections. So there are certain piercing techniques, jewelry, gauges, needles, all of that should be used in certain parts of the body. If that is not done right, again, infection, keloids, issues healing, and that's just not what you want. So I would go somewhere that's reputable, pay the extra money, because if it's something you're gonna want more than for a week, why not invest? You're investing in your body and your looks, and if you can't pay, $30 to get your nose pierced, just wait until you can, So the next thing is that I know that piercing, Claire's and stuff, really try to sell this solution where you can change your piercings in half the time, so 3 weeks instead of 6 weeks. This, ladies and gents, is bogus. I would not recommend. Tattoo shops are better with giving you timelines of when you can change things. Normally, I double the time just to make sure. I would rather not deal with an infection, which I will get to how to deal with an infection, but just to be safe, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So my belly button, though, I did change as soon as I could because I was so excited. But with most of my ears, instead of waiting the 6 weeks, I just wait the 12. I wait 12 or close to 12. Oh, these birds are all over here. Hi, guys. And yeah, so I just prefer to wait a little bit longer at least. And it just depends on what your body's doing. And I've had piercings and I just prefer to do that. I really don't mind. I'd rather have less issues changing them, if that makes sense. And honestly, heal times are different for everything, but with ears, it is at least 6 weeks. Do not change them after 3 weeks, please, for the love of God. Belly button piercings, I believe, can take up to like a year to heal, though. And I think mine, I had to wait like a couple months to change it. Honestly, it's been a minute. I'm pretty sure I talked about that in my other video. So listen to them. Like I said, if they're reputable. Mine give me a care sheet, place I go, and it's very specific on what I can and cannot do. Whatever. A lot of the places, if you don't go to a good place or have not, and that is why you're watching this video, just a few things to follow. I'm going to get into cleaning, but do not go into any public swimming pool or lake until it is completely healed. And that I would mean probably like double the time. Ear piercings aren't as big of a deal, but with other body piercings like nose and body jewelry, that can be more of an issue. It can lead to really, really bad infections and possible rejection of belly button piercings. So I think my belly button, I was supposed to wait a few months before I even went swimming. But after the heal time, the regular 6 weeks, you can go swimming in your own swimming pool. That's not an issue. If you want to risk it for the biscuit, you can do that as well. This is also pretty much similar for tattoos. You want to wait until they're done scabbing and peeling and all of that before you even go in your own pool, simply because of chemicals. But definitely with lakes and other people's pools or public pools, I would not recommend until they are completely healed. So the thing that I clean with, they will often offer you a saline or salt water cleaner, and it's very expensive. Go get you some of this. It's at Walmart. It's sterile saline solution, ready to use. It's isotonic, drug-free, no burning or stinging, sprays in any position, wound wash. This is what you want to use. You don't just use this to clean your piercings until they are healed. And like I said, the time varies. I'm gonna sneeze. It's coming. So on top of, you want to clean them twice a day. That's what I've been told for all my piercings. And just spray some, or I normally spray it in the cap and just clean them until they're healed, and then I'll get to after they're healed. Okay, so now I'm gonna get to how I clean them now. So my piercings now, I clean as needed. So what this means is if I go into a lake that is very dirty, I'm going to clean all of my piercings. Or if I go into a dirty pool, like today I'm going into a public pool, but I'm not going to necessarily remove them all, but I am just going to clean them off with this. My nose, if I get makeup on it, I normally will just clean it off. I normally clean my nose a couple times a week for sure, just with skincare and stuff. It's really easy to get keloids. So my ears also, if I use a lot of hair products, just anything that can irritate them. So I have my first earring holes I've had for 10 years, like they don't really get infections at all. But the newer the piercing, even if it's been a couple years, you can still get infections and you can still be prone to infections. So, just as needed too, like I said. So if I feel like I need to, sometimes I'm just like, it's been a while, we'll just clean them off real quick. So then it comes to, no! Okay. My brother has a pickup truck and he's 14, he's driving it on our land, but holy shenanigans. Anyways, his stick shift, it's a lot going on. So changing jewelry, this kind of varies for me as well. Normally when I change it all, girlfriend. So I will take all of the jewelry that I am wearing out and put it away. I don't clean it before I store it because I clean it before I put it in, because if it's stored and just, I don't know, I prefer to just clean it before I put it in. So I take it all out and I will, I don't know, I'm out of breath. So I take all of my jewelry out and then I will clean the area with this. And then just to get it really clean, because you're changing it, and sometimes even if you've had the piercing for a while, there can still be irritation when changing piercings, and it's good to just minimize that. And then to clean off the jewelry, depending on how dirty I think it is, most of the time I will just use this. But if it is, for example, like crusty jewelry, or it's just like not looking too hot, I will use rubbing alcohol. And rubbing alcohol cleans when it's drying. So I used to like leave my earrings in this overnight before I put them in. My dad was like, it's really not doing anything. So what I'll do is I'll put them in a little container like the top of this, or in a cotton ball. Like I'll put them in there, I'll dump it on it, and then I'll like wipe them off with Q-tips or cotton balls, and then I let them dry, and then I put them in. Just to ensure cleanliness, because the worst thing you can do is put a dirty piece of jewelry into a piercing. That's no brainer. So when it comes to infections, yes, your girl still gets them. This is what I do. So the first thing that I do is I like to go for my trusty saline spray, and I will clean it 2 times a day like it's a new piercing. And I don't take the jewelry out unless I think the jewelry is causing the problem, because you don't, in my experience, it just makes it worse. It's led to keloids on my cartilage. It leads to scabbing and like the piercing possibly trying to close, but it would close with the infection inside. So you want to leave your piece of jewelry in if it is not what is causing the infection, which we'll get to that in a minute. So you want to clean it twice a day with saline. And when you have an infection, it is important that you use both sides of the Q-tip. What I mean, so you wet both sides. You'll use one side for the front, other side for the back of your ear piercings. One side for the outside of your nose, one side for the inside. That's a thing, same thing for your belly button piercing. This is the way I was taught to clean them when I first get them pierced. It just helps to, because if you're taking a dirty part of the Q-tip and rubbing it on the back, you're not helping to clean the back, if that makes sense. So I do that for about 3 days, and if that does not help, well actually, so I'll use that. Sometimes it'll go away within the first few days. So I start with this. Sometimes I got maybe some hairspray in it and it was just a little bit irritated, and I wiped it off and it's fine now. But if it doesn't, I will start using triple antibiotic ointment, and I will apply it around, like put it on a Q-tip and apply it around my piercing. And normally I do this once a day at night, simply because if you go out with this, it can get in your hair, it can show on your face, it can get on your clothing. So I just put this on at night. If it does not go away, if you have a really stubborn infection, this is where it gets intense. So you are going to remove said jewelry. Just wait though, just wait. You're going to cleanse it in rubbing alcohol. I would, if you think your infection may be caused by the jewelry, I would take it out and inspect it. Is it rusty? Is paint chipping? Is your ear, is it swollen? If you think you might be allergic to the jewelry, change the jewelry to a different material, and I'll get to what materials you should be using. Just wait, girl. Just wait, sis. And see if that helps, but do not take it completely out unless you are willing to let it close, but you'll still have to continue cleaning the area. Okay? So take this. Girl, she leaking. Completely cleanse your jewelry. Leave it out for a minute, because you're going to do something else, so cleanse it first, and then leave it on a clean space, like a cotton ball. Then you're going to take this, that was a wasp, and you're going to get it on a cotton ball and clean your infected piercing. This can be uncomfortable, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't feel the best, but this is the quickest way to cure an infection. I do this depending on how bad it is. Normally just at night, just once a day, and then I use the saline in the morning just to help. So use this on your area, on your piercing, and you don't need to use it on the other piercings unless they're infected. so bad. It smells like when you get a shot. Ugh. And then goop this around your piercing. And then I dip my earring like post into here and put it through to make sure the ointment gets through. Let it sit. Now the only thing with this ointment is it's also important to let piercings breathe, and that is why I only put it on once a day. So then you'll clean it off with this in the morning. Make sense? The rubbing alcohol I would not use for more than a couple days because it is really hard on your skin. If the infection persists, depending on what piercing it is, like your belly button, it could be your body rejecting it. So if it gets worse, it gets really bad, you may need to go back to the piercing shop and you may have to either take it out or go to a doctor to get antibiotics. But don't let it get to the point of needing to take it out or get antibiotics. What we're trying to prevent here. For your jewelry, I have found that my ears don't really care what kind of jewelry I put in them. As long as it's not super thick or super heavy, really don't mind. My ears don't care. Some people are more sensitive, but I'm wearing like all fake jewelry right now. I did have a piercing in my tragus that I got from Claire's, and my tragus was so infected, and I took it out to make sure it wasn't the jewelry because I hadn't worn this jewelry before. And sure enough, the paint, so I thought it was a silver hoop, it was painted silver, and the paint was chipping off of the piercing and making it infected. Makes sense. But I was like, really, man? Really? So that's another thing. Be careful where you buy jewelry for your ears. For my belly button, it is important to use surgical steel, if not like silver or gold, but I use surgical steel. So you're gonna pay a little bit more for these, but I absolutely love them. I got a pack on Amazon. I'll try to find the pack that I got, or one really similar. It was a really good deal. They're not gonna be as cheap as a pack of fake diamond earrings. I hate to break it to you, but like I said, you've gotten this piercing, you're gonna want to take care of it because you paid for it and you paid a lot, and now you don't want to have to take it out or have it be rejected. For your nose, I would also recommend surgical steel and the right gauge. Mine, I believe, is an 18 gauge. Booyah. And if you don't wear the right type of jewelry, that will just lead to keloids on your nose, which are not cute. So, and then your cartilage should also just be a regular earring gauge. I don't know exactly what gauge normal earrings are, but it should not be anything bigger unless, I mean, I don't even think they'll go bigger than a normal earring size, but I've seen some girls with some really thick jewelry in there, and that is a no-no. It's a no. Your tragus is supposed to be a little bit bigger. I went inpatient for a week at a hospital and they took it out and it shrunk down. So I just wear normal earrings, and I actually have a nose stud in there right now. So these are my tips and tricks to take care of your piercings. I only have one tattoo, so that's like super low maintenance. But yes, also another thing is you're gonna want to not put certain things really close to your piercings, but other things you are. So sunscreen, you're going to want to sunscreen your ears, your nose, and your belly button, because if you don't and it gets sunburn around that area, it's going to be painful to clean and your skin is going to be very angry. I wouldn't recommend, shoving sunscreen into it, but like my belly button doesn't care now and all that. So also just, sometimes looking at your piercings just to ensure nothing crazy is happening. Last summer, my belly button ring actually got infected. I don't know how it happened, but I didn't realize that until it was like really gross. So just kind of checking in, making sure. I changed my ear piercings more than the rest of my piercings, or my other two. But these I change every couple weeks, and then normally I change all of it every month or so. I've changed my first earring a whole lot, but that's about it. So I hope you guys found this video useful. I am not an expert, and I would listen to what your piercer says. This is just my experience, and good luck to you on all of your piercing endeavors. So making videos is my hobby. If you guys do want to support me, you can subscribe down below. I would love to have you join the Maddie fam. It's a ton of fun here, and just a good place to be for the summer or for the rest of your life. I'm kidding. I'm a lady. So I also have an Instagram that I've probably already flashed on the screen, but if you guys want to check me out, that's my my Instagram, just for you guys, or I interact with you guys on there. Send me a message, leave me a comment here or there, and I would love to interact with